why is it important for you to be here tonight?
I think, the Philippines we've been the canary in the coal mine. We started doing stories on how cheap armies on social media is rolling back democracy in the Philippines in 2016. We were the first globally to do that. And you're seeing these same tactics now being used in many other democracies around the world. One of the most interesting things for me is that we started looking at data early on with these exponential attacks, lies laced with anger and hate that spread faster than facts on social media, right? We started looking at that, and then just 2 weeks ago, Christopher Wiley, the Cambridge Analytica whistleblower, he said that the Philippines was the petri dish where they experimented with tactics, and if it worked, they ported it to the West. So we really are, these tactics are coming soon to a democracy near you. They're here in the United States, and they tested them in the Philippines.
And why are you doing this despite all the threats? Obviously, they tested in the Philippines and it's working in the Philippines, and so it's inching its way now to spread all over the world. And you are kind of like the face for it as far as the Philippines, as far as globally. But what keeps you going despite the attacks?
Because it matters. The stakes are incredibly high, and the weaponization of the law after the weaponization of social media, all of this is meant to pound us to silence, and we should not be silent. Now matters. For journalists trying to tell the truth, the attacks are personal. And you wake up and it's visceral and it's ugly, but you have to punch through it, because what we're fighting for, what we do today, matters to the future of our democracies, to the presence of our democracy. I don't think that there's any other choice for us, because Rappler was set up to harness the enabling power of social media, but there's no way that 7 years ago I could have thought that this kind of weaponization could have happened. And that's where I think we're fighting impunity on two fronts. The Philippine government in terms of policies and the drug war, and the second is American social media platforms. The business model of the social media platforms, the attention-based economy, is created to sap us of human will, which is going to kill a free market economy. It kills business. It will definitely kill election integrity and democracies. This is a pivotal moment. We need to do something significantly different, or democracy as we know it is dead.
I also thought when you started Rappler 7 years ago that it was very revolutionary, and I thought you were on the right path, and I'm sure you did too, as you just mentioned earlier. At what point did you realize that, oh no, the power is now being used against me, against us?
In 2016. It really was in 2016. And, I think part of what led to that, think about this. Duterte was elected in May 2016. Brexit happened a month later. Trump was elected in November, right? So to me, what was critical is that Facebook introduced instant articles the end of 2015. So in the US it was a little bit earlier, but in the Philippines it was the end of 2015, and they put news on the same platform and used the same system of algorithms that you would use for gossip, right? It's not a surprise that lies laced with anger and hate spread faster than facts, because facts are kind of boring, right? So this attention-based economy this business model needs to change. That's one. But having said that, Facebook has now become the world's largest distributor of news. But they left behind the gatekeeping powers that differentiates between fact and fiction, right? So they need to take that in order to protect the public sphere. Otherwise, you can't have facts. Without facts, you can't have truth. Without truth, you can't have trust. Without these three, you don't have democracy.
With that said, I want you to talk to our viewers, the common people. We're journalists. We know what's going on. We know where to do fact checks. For them that are consuming the news and they don't, how do you differentiate fact from fake news from lies?
I think the first thing is if you are emotional, the way the system, the algorithms are set up is to make you angry, right? So if you are emotional, step back. Look and see, is it fact? Is it fact? If you look at the Mueller report, it actually documents how Russian disinformation networks fought on both sides of the Black Lives Matter, right? That's been documented. So the tactic is to take a fissure line of society and hammer it until it splits open. It spreads violence and hate. If you feel like there is inciting to violence and hate, step back and don't get angry and look at the facts.
Where do you go from here, figuratively?
Two big news agenda that will not go away. The first is climate. The second is truth. This is a battle for truth. This is important to win. So we need to somehow, the biggest question that I'm trying to answer now is, how do you have civic engagement in the age of social media? How do we create communities of action? That's what, when we set up Rappler, our elevator pitch was, we build communities of action, and what we feed them is journalism. So how do you do that in this day and age? How do we protect the integrity, not just of elections, but of democracy itself?